My name's Davida Shensky, and the title of this program is Live Without Limits, Dreams Come True with the Right Mindset. And today we're going to be talking more about relationships. And the title of this program is 8 Important Ways That You Can Start to Nurture Your Friendships. Like seasons of life, friendships can blossom and wane. And as you get older, you might find it harder to make new adult friends. Unlike during the years of school, there simply is less opportunity to do so. Yet, this doesn't mean it's impossible. At the same time, maybe it's worthwhile nurturing your existing friendships. Long term friendships can enhance your life like no other, offering you a sense of belonging, support, and lots of reasons for happiness and joy. So, if you're feeling as though you're drifting away from your friends or you're struggling to reconnect, don't worry, we have got you covered. Below, we explore all the ways that you can foster deeper relationships in your life and what it means to do so. So, let's dig in and how can you nurture your friendships and create greater happiness in your life. Now, I just want to tell you that sometimes nurturing friendships and keeping friends that you had from childhood days, often that depends on your personality. Because if you're more of someone with interpersonal skills that's very outgoing and you've made a lot of friends through the years, you're more likely to keep in touch with them because someone else who's an introvert may not make the effort to keep up those friendships. So, therefore, if you don't, remember this that as young adults, when you have young children, you're going to be gravitating towards couples who have children your own age. And as you get older, as people can get more involved in their children as adults, then it's a way and a cause for certain relationships to kind of wane at that time. So always remember, you're going to make friends according to the age group that you're in. And you might, because of social media, be able to keep up with them a lot easier than you could in the past. So, what does it mean to nurture your friendships? Well, when you nurture your friendships, your friends become like family. You can rely on one another. You get each other. You lean on one another. And it goes 2 ways. Yet, fostering a friendship requires some effort on both parts. You have to check in on each other. You have to boost each other up. There are a few variety of qualities that equate to good friends. So let's take a look at a few of these. What are the qualities of a good friend? Well, when you think of a good friend, a few qualities might come to mind, yet inevitably, some of these are more important than others, including honesty, trustworthiness, and kindness. Being a good friend isn't that hard. In many ways, you must have to maintain the basics of any relationship, which also includes communication. With that in mind, let's help you foster a friendship forever so that you can build your tribe and start making or maintaining these undeniably important connections and bonds. How do you foster deeper relationships? There are a billion ways that you can nurture friendships and make lasting connections. Yet, for the sake of this show, we're going to look at 8 ways that you can foster these bonds. Keep on listening to find out. Now, before I actually get into them, now we're talking about personal relationships, but you can actually utilize these in business relationships. That's why it's so important to understand how friendships can also be business acquaintances. The first thing is to learn how to listen and understand. Active listening is one of the best interpersonal skills that you can master. This means listening to understand, not respond. It means really thinking about what the other person is saying and taking it in without making side comments or judgments. Sometimes people just need someone there to listen and understand. While many of us love to jump into solution mode, this isn't always suitable. In your friendships, ensure that you listen and understand first. Then maybe ask if they want to solve the problem or just need a shoulder to lean on. Practice following up. Maybe you had a nice dinner and are still thinking about the next day. Let the other person know. This is a great way to let friends know that you're still thinking about the wonderful time that you had with them and how much you enjoyed and appreciated it. Also, when it comes to making plans, it can pay off to follow up days prior to ensure these plans actually happen. 3, stay positive. While toxic positivity doesn't do anyone any good, remaining a positive force in your friends' lives can count for leaps and bounds. Inevitably, there are times when just being there counts a lot, but we could all use our own cheerleaders or not for us to as we go after what we want in life. Friends can help provide this. 4, use the phone, FaceTime, or any other way to connect. Today, there are so many ways to stay connected. In other words, if you want to stay connected, you will. Pick up the phone, plan a FaceTime, or start a tradition with a regular hangout with your pals. Staying connected is so much easier to do today than it ever was before. Avoid judging. We go to our friends for compassion and empathy. If you become judgy or a judgmental friend, no one is going to want to come to you when you need it, nor will they be there for you. Avoid judgment. Again, seek to understand. Laugh together. Having a good laugh is an easy way to bring people together. Watch a comedy. Be goofy together, sharing a laugh at an easy and fun boarding or bonding experience for all. Remember what you did in college when you lived in the dorm and you got to know each other? Well, it's very similar to what we're talking about right here. So pick your battles. Some are worth it and some aren't. For instance, if your friend just had a baby and is running late, it's probably a good idea to cut her some slack. On the flip side, if your friend is often late for no obvious reason and it gets under your skin, it might be good idea to politely bring it up. Pick your battles. Sometimes it's really not worth it. Respond and communicate. When someone messages you, answer. Waiting days or weeks to get back to them shows you don't care and prioritize them. And no, you don't need to answer ultra quickly. Rather, within a day is preferably fine. After all, we have busy lives and people get that. But there is something to a prompt and timely reply that communicates respect. Nurture your friendships for greater happiness. A famous quote from Winnie the Pooh said, "A friend is someone who helps you up when you're down. And if you can't, they lay down beside you and listen." Find those friends that do that for you and vice versa. When we do, your life takes on a whole other meaning. And remember this, friendships are so important. And it's one thing that I did is for many years after college, or when I moved away from my hometown, there were certain friends. Now I didn't have a lot of friends because people were not that didn't want to get that close to me simply because I had a disability and I was different. But for those few friends that I had, I stayed close to them for many, many years. And then when I moved to Atlanta and I had contact with some of them and I found her to be very negative and non supportive, then yes, I distanced myself from her. And then I had a friend that I became friends with in college that moved away. And for many years, we kept in touch. And then in the latter years, as we both got older, she started having some health problems and they had to sell their condo. And so they were moving around and she kind of lost touch with me. And I've several times reached out to her. But sometimes those kind of friends are not always there. And as you get older and as your close friends die off, or as you start seeing that happen, then you start feeling more and more isolated. But the idea is that you need to keep friendships because having relationships keep you going. It's the same thing like having an animal when you live alone.